Peace, Bernie Mac. Rest in peace. Protocol up in the building. Protocol. Peace, family. D. Harris, hey everyone, how y'all doing? Antonio Gooding. Say what? Sir Mickey. Sir Mickey did support reparations, man. What are you talking about? He did support it. Damn it, Johnson. Don't put out misinformation. He did support reparations. He just said, like, since they're not gonna do that. I support it. They ain't gonna do it. So let's focus on things we can make them do. But he said he supported it. Come on, dog. I don't even think I would be cool with him if he didn't do that. Same thing with Van Lathan, Dr. West, everybody I rock with that I bring on. I asked them that question and they answered. He answered. Damn it, Johnson. No fair, man. No fair. Let me get that off the screen. No fair, man. You know, it's okay to criticize people, but you got to be accurate. Did he say he didn't support reparations? I mean, if I vote on Ben Shapiro, he'd tell you I don't support it. If I vote on Officer Tatum, he would say I do not support it. When I vote on Michael Singleton, he says I support it. And you say that it's the same thing. It's not, man. Can't do that just because he's Republican. All right. Protocol up in the building. What is cracking? Yo. Got enough trouble out of people who don't support it. Now, you know, just because people don't roll with it like I do, doesn't mean they don't support it, man. It's because they don't make it a feature of their program. You know, there's people who wouldn't take. Anyway, I'm keep moving. Black Bomber. Yeah, I watched that he did say he supports reparations. I don't know why that was the first comment of the night too. Like, why would somebody do that unless it's a plant, you know, who wants to mislead people? Damn, man. I shouldn't, it's my bad. I shouldn't have read the comment. Well, I guess I should to clarify, right? Guess I should read it to clarify. You know, I'm going to bring on all types of people on the show. And we're going to ask them tough questions. Speaking of that, fam, check this out. I haven't heard from Van Lathan in a couple of days. Starting to be concerned about my brother. You know, I'm getting a feeling that maybe people told him, hey, man, Tim Black's a bad guy. Not that he stole from him, not that he doxed him, not that, you know, not that I'm beginning to feel like maybe some people told him some bad things. You know, I'm beginning to feel like instead of trusting his own intuition about how dope and honest our discourse was, maybe he's listening to those people, man. You know, there are some bad actors in this. I could be totally wrong, Johnson. Hey, I could be wrong. This could just be people busy. But there are people in this business that will smear you and try to blackball you out of the business, even though they don't know you, they never work with you, just because you said things about them in video content or what have you. And I hope that's not the case. I hope I'm misreading. I hope I have to reverse my point of view, or, you know, this is just my opinion based on what happened. But I tell you, man, Van and I had one of the best interviews I've done in the last year or two. I ain't gonna say it was the best interview I've ever done, but it was damn good. And even he said that. And in the beginning of the interview, guys, so the people who are not members of the Tim Black Show, let me tell you something. It was not a friendly interview in the beginning. People, you watch the clips like we're an hour and a half in, yeah, things are chilled out. But in the beginning, we went back and forth for like 4 rounds. So people make assumptions, they don't watch the content. So I gotta say, man, if you rock with the Tim Black Show, and I hope you do, that you watching it. Be crazy to watch stuff you don't like. Who does that? But if you rock with the Tim Black Show, you haven't had an opportunity to become a member of the show, to see the whole thing, because you can see it now. I gotta suggest you become a member Support the show. $5 a month is not a lot of money. I think we all can afford it. $5. I think we all can afford it. But if you gotta wait, watch the whole joint. Cause I'm on some new shit, man. Like years ago, when I wasn't sure of like my position, like I knew my position, right? I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Can I be totally transparent with y'all? All right. We family, right? We family. Years ago, man, people just take it like interviewing and having conversation with strangers is easy. It's not always easy. It's a learned skill. When you see people do it well, you don't realize that takes skill. That takes time and training. Many of them have been to school to train for that. I've gotten better over time. I also had to learn not to care if the person ends up being a friend of the show, if I'm a friend of theirs, if I even admire them, that I have a goal, that I have a message to convey. And nothing is bigger than that message. I'm not bigger than that message. Forget them. I'm not bigger than the message. Get what I'm saying? This is deep. This is deep. It had to take time. I had to realize whether it's Marianne Williamson or Andrew Yang or Donna Brazile or Coy Bush or Jamal Bowman, Representative Bush, Representative Bowman, Dr. Cornel West, Senator Nina Turner, presidential candidate Senator Mike Gravel, Representative Ro Khanna, Director Michael Moore, Director, author Bill Duke, no matter who it is. By the way, when I look at people that y'all compare me to, they never talk to any of these people. I know you say it don't matter. I think it does matter. People you compare me to have not put that time and have not done this at that level. Easy to talk to somebody 25 years old on Zoom and sun them. That's easy. You try sunning Donna Brazile. Just try it. She trains politicians. That's her job. And she's been doing it for 40 years. The point is this. Yo, dog, I had to learn. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to learn that I ain't bigger than the message. So when I'm worried in my head about, am I being too hard? Are they gonna call me misogynist? Are they gonna call me racist? Are they gonna call me homophobe? Are they gonna call me xenophobe? Are they gonna say I wasn't using the correct diction? I wasn't using the correct language, that I went too fast, I went too slow, or I make a hostile environment, or I'm being too soft, or I'm not being, look, at the end of the day, have a goal, and all those things are selfish. Because they're all about me. It ain't even about the person that I'm interviewing. I'm worried about me. Is my platform going to survive? Am I going to be able to grow my platform? Will I be able to support my family? Will no one else ever come back on my show? Will I never be able to grow this? This is my life dream. And I've dedicated almost 15 years to it. But I'm not bigger than the moment. And I can never be more concerned with the outcome for me and the impact of it for me than the moment in time and asking tough questions and being on mission. It took until the last couple of years for me to have a mission. And I'm trying to tell y'all, man, having a mission is everything. Because now it ain't even about me. My mission says I had to start the first 15 minutes with Van, 20 minutes with Van, only on the issue of immigration and deportation, that I had an issue with him, which brought him on the show. And we had to go back and forth 4 or 5 times. That's what we had to do. I did not need to be nice. I need to be precise. This is what I learned. Nobody taught me. Nobody put me in a camp and explained to me and trained me up. Nobody wrote me long emails helping me gather and understand this. No, I didn't have money to hire consultants and trainers and coaches like politicians get. I had to figure this shit out. And I'm telling you, man, I'm free. Oh, I'm so free now that I see it this way. I'm here to advocate for black people, and ain't nothing gonna get in the way of that. Nothing. And I don't care who I'm talking to. I don't care if I go on Fox tomorrow. I don't care if I go on Piers Morgan, the Hodge Twins, Jesse Lee Peterson, Newsmax, Chris Cuomo, Stephen A. Smith, The Breakfast Club, or whoever. I'm going to be the same guy. And I'm going to say the same blankety blank thing. And you ain't got to like me when it's over. You ain't got to never want to see or hear from me again. But in the words of a famous SmackDown battle rapper, you gonna get this work. You're a black woman with a huge following. People love you, sisters love you, and black men revere you. But guess what? When you talk to Tim Black, you gonna get this work. You could be Ben and Jerry founders. Access to multiple millions of dollars that could change the life of this show. But guess what, Ben and Jerry? Next time you come on, you gonna get this work. You could be Dr. Cornel West, someone I admired before I even met him, whose book I read when I was in my early 20s, 30s, I don't know. Young, I was young. I'm still young now. And I can have a lot of respect for you and fondness for you. And very appreciative to you and your wife for all you've done for me. And my wife. And my family. And I had an amazing time when I met you. The times we hung out, the times we talked when we were in Ohio working with Nina Turner's campaign. And damn near 10 times you've been on the show. And you're one of the most intelligent men I've known, that I've had the privilege of knowing. One of the most intelligent brothers. With a heart of gold, man. And happy belated birthday to that brother. But you know what? If I'm ever fortunate enough to be graced with your presence, you gon' get this work. That goes for everybody. That goes for everybody. Because it's bigger than me. I'm here to advocate for black Americans the best way I know how. I'm here to advocate for the working class. Working class. I hate the term because people think it only means white people. They forget black people work. I need to stipulate. I'm not here for bougie blacks. I'm not here for the elite blacks. So I'm here to do the bidding of those people and stand in the gap for those people. That's what the platform's for. And when you have that type of clarity, everything drifts away. And it took me time to get to that. So I want to appreciate the brother that made the comment, though it was inaccurate, not untrue. There are things that Shamichael disagrees with or does not support, probably, that I could take him to task on, that I could disagree with him about. But reparations is not one of those things. He supports that. One of the few. Now, Byron Donalds would say no. And I would love to have Byron Donalds on the show. And I would ask him the same question. And I would disagree with him. But you know what I had to learn to do? Not to demonize him just because I disagree with him. Not to call him a bunch of names just because I disagree with him. He ain't put a gun to my head. He ain't pushing old black women downstairs. He ain't, putting stuff in the black people food that I know of. So why am I gonna attack him just because I don't like his politics or disagree with him on certain topics? So I got to be able to have that. And as long as my only commitment is to you, that commitment, and it's a big commitment, but it's the only thing I owe you, and that is no matter who comes on, no matter where I go, to be the same brother. That's it. And I think some people don't want to see me grow. They don't want to see us get better because they're afraid they're going to lose us. They don't want to see us be able to take care of our families well because they don't want to lose us, because that's what happens so often. But it don't have to happen. Let's be honest, man. I ain't never going to be big as Charlemagne. That requires so much institutional support. There is no reason to sell out. Doing better don't mean you become Dave Chappelle, dog. Just means, you can get a slot playing on the road. All right, guys, I'm going to go here with the show. I think my point is made. I think people understand. I think most people get it, and I don't want to beat the dead horse. Tonight's show, if you're new to the show, this is a U.S. politics show. A U.S. politics show, breaking news, black culture. Welcome to it. We do this Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 days a week we do live streams. I'd also like to welcome everybody and invite people to go to WeTheFree.com. WeTheFree.com is a streaming website. I'm now a participator or a contributor to this website. And go check it out and become a member. Use code TIM. Save 10% or something. I'll tell you more about it as time goes on. I just joined. I'm excited about it. Message is still the same. I ain't got to go nowhere, ain't got to do nothing. They like my content. They want to put my content on their website. That's it. Same content I already put out. I ain't changing the message. Ain't doing none of that. They said, Tim Black, we like it, man. Your critiques of the Democratic Party will be great over here. I said, cool, you can have some. Perfect. That's it. That was the negotiation. Very transparent. That's it. I talk about Democrats being corrupt and betraying Black America. They said, we like that. Can we put some of your content on our site? The end. That's all. No, could you do this like the white guys did? White guys, like Benny Johnson and Tim Pool and the other guy, whatever, they got money to spread a message. And white people was like, cool, we love you. Tim Black just puts his content on another site. And I get Black people going, why you put your content over there? Why are you working with them? This is the conundrum. This is what I deal with. It hasn't happened yet, but I already know. But it's from a good place with some people because, like I said, because I understand the psychology of it, some of us have a built-in mechanism of fear of separation. Because when the big house, and by the way, this is Black-owned, by the way. This website Black-owned. But people ain't going to think that because it's nice. They're going to look at it and be like, this is nice. White people must own this. Sorry, that's what people do. They're going to just assume it's white-owned. Over the years, Black people have had to, I think we developed this. I don't know. I think I heard a psychologist or psychologist, historians should say, on these issues. Her name escapes me. But she was recounting how Black, how on the slave train, on the plantation, they come get the child, take the child. If the child showed any promise, they take the child from the mother, from the family, and take them to the big house or whatever, or sell them off or whatever. So they didn't want them to take the child, of course. So they'd be like, you don't want him, he's no good, he's something wrong with him. You don't want him. No, he's kind of slow, you know. He needs to stay with me. I need to take care of him because he ain't gonna be good for you. It was a protection mechanism to keep her children. Because you're like, oh, he's so smart, he's great. He's great. Oh, good. Well, come on, we need him over here. And I think sometimes that happens. So I got all these thoughts juggling in my head all the time, Johnson. So it's not cut and dry. It's not always bad people. Some people just, they don't want to see how great, they don't want to see people that they admire go. And I ain't going nowhere. So I don't even know if I'm great. I'm all right. I operate every day thinking I'm all right, and I hope to get better. Tonight's show is Wacky Wednesday Whiplash. Karine Jean-Pierre's Biden Blunder. You gotta get into this, man. Fit or food? Fit or food? Fit or food? Man, we good, Buck. We okay? Give it up for the Tim Black Wolfpack in the house, man. Thank y'all for being here, putting up with me. Can I make one more announcement? Well, two. I got two more announcements, then we go to content. The Tim Black Legacy Mug is a bad mugger. I had a couple of orders that we processed today. Thank you for new orders. Next couple of order processes will be Friday. Thank you. I want to shout you out, but I don't know if I got permission, and privacy is important. But I want you to know.
Simply amazing.
Now, that's what I'm talking about, eh? I can rock with that.
Yeah, simply amazing. Thank you. One last thing. Can I make one last announcement, y'all? Let me do this, man. Let me do this, because yeah, it did come over. Okay, let me do this. Let me get this. This is an image. I want to bring this picture up here and see if we can put this on the stage. I'm going to be totally transparent with y'all, man. Why it's so damn far away, man? What do I do? Oh, we'll do this. This is better. All right. Okay. This Juneteenth. Okay, so Soft Warm Classic is a name that I've been promoting on the show for about a month, maybe 2 months. I don't know. Long time, right? I want to be totally transparent. Y'all see this shirt? Y'all see it because you got eyes. This is Black Pride. That's what that is. That's Black Pride right there. It's also my wife's brand. All right, so when you go to Soft Warm Classic, that's my wife's website. I didn't want to tell y'all that because I didn't want that to be the reason why you bought from it. You know what I'm saying? I felt cheesy. Like, yo, go to my wife's website. She got her own company. You know what I'm saying? She sells stuff online. And I'm like, well, what good is having a husband with a platform if we don't promote it on my platform? But I was like, I don't want to be making people, I don't want people to feel like they got to do it because it's you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to do it. But then today I was like, you know what? Some people would be mad if I didn't tell them. They'd be like, I was going to buy, no, I didn't buy that, or I was going to buy. And why you ain't tell me who it was? Some people would feel like you were withholding information. So I'm like, damn, man, I don't think you can win, Tim. Some people going to be mad. Some people going to be happy. Some people ain't going to care. They be like, I ain't buying that no way, dog. So anyway, softwarmclassic.com is my wife's website. It's my wife's brand. It dropped a full Juneteenth collection. All right. We talking toddler onesies, women's tees, men's tees, kids' tees. We got girls' tees too. It's just a boy in the picture. We got girls' tees too. Boys and girls. You name it. Support a black-owned, not just black-owned, but a quality, dope-ass business and with a quality products, and order them so they get there this month so you have them. And but just know this, because it's getting close to Juneteenth, you can wear Juneteenth stuff all year round. Nobody should be able to tell us when we can celebrate Juneteenth. And nobody should be able to tell us how we celebrate it. And we can keep rocking whatever we want to rock, right? So go to Soft Form Classic, use the code SWC10 and get $10 off your spend over $75. And shipping, free shipping, using the code free shipping 2025. Yeah, 2025. Okay. That's it, man. All right, so Juneteenth coming, man. Do that. Hey, I'll tell y'all, man. All right, can we do the content now? Yeah, man. All right, guys, so the lead story for the day, I'm just going to lead off with it, get over with. Karine Jean-Pierre, the former press secretary for Joe Biden, she came out. No, she been out. She been in I think she's LGBTQ. She been LGBTQ, but she came out in another way. It's far more significant. As a person that's calling out the Biden administration for lying. I know, right? Ain't that crazy? She was part of the Biden administration for lying. Here she is.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Personally, I think what was the toughest thing to see in the 3 weeks.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Personally, I think what was the toughest thing to see in the 3 weeks was there was a disconnect for me. What was happening with leadership in the Democratic Party and how it was truly, as my former colleague, communications director Ben LeBolt said, it was a firing squad. And I had never seen anything like it before. I'd never seen a party do that in the way that they did. And it was hurtful and sad to see that happening. A firing squad around a person who I believe was a true patriot, a person who I believe did everything that he can for this country, a person who I believe, as I mentioned before, has done more in one term than most presidents had done in 2 terms, historical things. And I was shocked by what I was seeing.
And Karine, just to clarify, these are other Democrats and Democratic leadership coming out against Biden.
Yep, I had never seen anything like that. That was, if you're asking me the thing that I saw in those 3 weeks, that was shocking. Shocking. And instead of coming together to really be unified and trying to figure out how do we save our democracy, how do we fight back, that's what I was seeing. And, that's what we decided to do for 3 weeks. And, it was truly, truly unfortunate. And I think it hurt us more than I think folks realized to have done that.
And I know we're coming, and thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
You were not the White House press secretary when you showed up on ABC's The View a couple of months ago. You were talking major stuff then. You were not the White House press secretary. You were an American citizen who was not working in the White House. What the hell you going on the show for then? Bloviating about Joe Biden and how he was alert and he was spry and he was a great commander-in-chief and he was sharp and all of this stuff. I don't have the clip in front of me because I just saw the story. You're lucky I don't have time to pull it up. But I'm fully aware of the fact that you were not the White House press secretary when you were on The View spewing the same stuff you had spewed when you were the White House press secretary.
Yeah, she's coming out and look, I don't know her entire message. I'm not exactly sure everything that she's saying when she's going on this tour, selling her book. But any problems that she talk about, she part of it. Yeah, and anything that she's talking about, she complaining about, she was part of that. Because she had a thing, fam. Here's the thing. I started this show off talking about me having to use my platform, in a way for the people, for the purpose, not for me. When Karine was doing the bidding of Joe Biden, trying to keep it quiet that she didn't know this guy had lost his luggage, so to speak, when she was doing that, she was betraying us. That's what she was doing. Because she don't work for Joe Biden. Not really. She works for us. That's what she works for. Why? It only apply to me that when I'm talking to somebody, I got to remember I work for all of the wolf pack, my audience, my people, my supporters, the mission. What was her mission? Her mission is to inform the American people. How can she put out a book complaining about other people when her job was to inform the American people, and she was not? She was misinforming the American people on purpose, giving disinformation on purpose. I don't care if somebody told you to do it. I don't care if you got a memo to do it. I don't care. That's when you quit. People quit jobs all the time. What, because you black and LGBTQ, you can't quit a job? You'll never get another job? To quote Robert Townsend, I'm in Hollywood Shuffle, is always work at the post office. Now you can't go work at the post office like regular people? Hey, it ain't my fault to build up a lifestyle that requires you to make excess of $400,000, $500,000 a year in order to be comfortable. You and your boo. That ain't nobody's fault but yours. And your ethics and your character should not suffer. Your integrity should not be flushed down the toilet because you got bills. These people that want to badmouth me and blackball me, they support liars. Because they all lie and they hide behind, I had to do it. How else am I going to eat? I didn't like him criticizing you. I didn't like him criticizing me. I didn't like him calling me out. He was mean. Was he right, though? Was he just? Was he standing on principle, though? Something you forgot long time ago because you ain't got some money. Karine Jean-Pierre should not be on any network at any time saying anything. She's a betrayer of the people. And she used her blackness and her sexuality to do it. And other people gonna fall in line and act like she is a stand-up individual when she did that. I don't rock with the bougie blacks. They call it the boule, whatever. I don't roll with the boule. Get her, Stephen. Give her the business, Stephen A.
So all bets are off. You didn't have to do that, but you chose to. Live with your decisions. Live with your decisions. You didn't have to do that, but that's what you chose to do. You chose to go front and center and still spew the same party line. So what the book's going to tell us? The book's going to tell us more about the Democrats. The book going to be an extension of Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson's book, Original Sin? Yet another Democrat coming out and telling us about stuff that a whole bunch of stuff on the right was telling us, but y'all swore we shouldn't listen to.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Damn it, Stephen A. This ain't even your damn segment.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Hey, man. The right wasn't the only one telling you. I got clips going back to 2019 telling you. And I ain't the right. I'm just not left anymore. Or I'm just not a progressive Democrat anymore. But I'm not right. I'm just independent. Free to look at an issue and say, Ups or down like Digstown. Ups or down like Lou Gonson Jr. Ups or down, thumb. I'm able to do that now with no bias. But no, I gotta say, there were a lot of people calling this out, man. People that I don't rock with no more, who stabbed me in the back, who did whatever they did. We gonna try to whatever. But some of them people they knew it too. They were saying it, been saying it for years. That don't erase facts. Our relationship don't erase history. You was there, that happened. You said that too. We all knew it. Don't make it seem like it's just a Republican thing. That's what you get when you keep on talking to Chris Cuomo. Stephen, give some props to Black independent media that was calling this shit for years. And I ain't talking about those handpicked to get to go on CNN and MSNBC all the damn time. They weren't calling nothing. Except, Bill, please. Check, please. Check, please. Can you get a little wine with that, please? Can I get that in a doggy bag? I have to give the help something when we get home. Take another picture of me on the beach, on an island somewhere where I'm doing things regular Black people don't get to do. Look at me going to the Met Gala. Just lying. But nah, Stephen, Mr. Smith, Johnson. Call it accurately. It wasn't just the right. Who got it right? It's easy for them to get it right. They're going to shit on Democrats no matter what happened. Body doubles and all types of stuff. All right, let's keep going, Stephen. Come on, man. A little bit of props.
While y'all were engaging in cancel culture, while y'all were engaging in excoriating anybody that called the Democratic Party out for what the hell was going on. That's what we're supposed to do now? That's what we're supposed to do.
I mean, are there people really that don't realize Stephen A. was right there with him? Stephen A. Stephen A. must have titanium draws. Because sitting on that fence, like he sat on that fence for like 2 years, has got to be painful without titanium underwear, undergarments, some type of protective guard. Stephen A. sat on the fence for 2 years. I know he worked for Disney, but he could also be quiet. He don't have to do this content. But it's money in it. It's notoriety and shine and credibility and celebrity in it. For him, some of us do the work because we do the work. Now it's extra loud, volume on 10. But when Kamala was running, look, I don't want to make this segment about Stephen A. Stephen A., you voted for Kamala Harris. The end. How you gonna go vote for somebody who was lying too? Lying by omission is a lie. You voted for her because she brown skinned and you was afraid them people, Black Twitter, gonna come get you, or D.L. Hughley gonna say mean things about you. Because Kamala came to his house and hugged him and made him see the light. Whatever the hell that means. Or Ricky smile and say, Kamala should call me when my son passed. She good people. Give her your vote because she treated me like a human being. And for that, she deserved to be president. Let's get back to Karine Jean-Pierre, man.
He's supposed to listen to you now. Okay. I'll do that. Karine Jean-Pierre, you are more than welcome to come on the Stephen A. Smith Show.
See, when I say stuff like that, people get mad. Oh, Tim, you just want to bring people on the show. Why, everybody need to go on Stephen A. and Piers Morgan? Can't nobody come talk to FBA? FBA can't bring people on the show. A foundational black American can't bring people on the show, huh? Only the tethers and the elite blacks and the boule. They're the only one get to ask tough questions to big people. Not us, huh? Pulleth, thou hitteth, out of thou asseth. Pulleth, thou hitteth, out of thou asseth. Yeah, that's it. Nobody says that to Jon Stewart. Well, Stephen A. said he could not. Stephen A. said he didn't have time to find this clip. Well, thank God it's a Tim Black, because Tim Black went and found the clip. So Stephen A., yeah.
Not only why we didn't hear from you while you were the White House press secretary, you left the White House.
Back with White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who actually does have another gig on a stand-up stage. I'm just saying. Funny. Alyssa has the next question.
Well, thank you for being back and in person. So listen, there have been a lot of criticisms about if the White House was transparent enough about Biden's health in the months leading up to the debate. But now calls have gone further, even including vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance saying if he's not up to serving 4 more years, can he serve out the rest of his term? How do you respond to that?
I think that's ridiculous. Seriously.
He's ridiculous.
Not me. But what I will say is, like, the president decided to not run for re-election. That's it. That's all he decided on. He wants to continue to do the work. 3.5 years of unprecedented historic work. I think that shows what he's capable of doing.
Yeah, like leaving that damn border open for 3.5 years. Passing a bunch of student loan debt things for 10% of people with student loans. By the way, guys, only 10% of Americans who have student loan debt saw any relief at all. 10%. So if 10 people came in here who had student loan debt, one of them left with some reduction, the rest just left, mad with their fist balled up. And for that, I get to hear this clown and other Democrats brag about Joe Biden and his student debt relief. 10%. I think people don't understand when they say 100 million people, $100 million was saved. They go, wow, that's a lot of money. Yeah, until you realize it's like, I don't know, $1 trillion worth of student loan debt. Till you realize how much money's out there. Say, well, he helped 1 million people. Till you realize about 20, 30, 40, 50 million people got student loan debt. Because you don't realize how big the problem is. They say a big number, you go, wow. You doing your thing, Biden. Then I tell you the big number, you go, so what, Biden did more than Trump would. Just saving face. Just saving face. Can't keep it 100. Can't keep it 100. And, by the way, a lot of that stuff got rolled back because it was unconstitutional. Ew, Tim. I didn't know that. Now you do. A lot of Biden's stuff that he was bragging about got rolled back. Just like a lot of Trump stuff got rolled back. It got thrown out because of court cases. But see, you don't know that. They still applauding Biden for stuff that ain't even go into effect ever. And they're still attacking Trump for stuff that didn't go into effect either. But that's the game. That's the game. And once you understand both sides play that game, they get a news cycle. Hey, we're going to do this. And it's a big news cycle. And then 6 months later, it goes away. And then you find out it wasn't even implemented. That's why I'm a Democratic Party hater. Because they lie like that all the time. And it's typically the black folks. They lie to us all the time. Let's keep going on, Karine. Please, Karine, tell us more tether stories.
I think that shows how important his leadership is. And moments ago, I talked about how he was able to reach across the aisle and do things in bipartisanship in the political environment that we're in.
This is very much overrated. I don't care about you reaching across the aisle. One of the good things and one of the things about Trump that that Democrats who are not haters got to give him credit on. You should, Democrats, if you have any integrity, is Trump don't give a damn. Yeah. He's sort of like Obama in that way. Obama was writing executive orders like this. His arm was just moving. They called him a tyrant, a dictator too. See, if you've been covering, see, a lot of people jumped into talking about politics. They so lazy they didn't look up anything because it just was just saw money. You know, they saw money. Was it like Cartier? These guys, like these young black kids, like 20 in their early 20s, don't look up anything. They just sit in front of a video and look at it and talk about it. I think this. I think that. Oh no, I think this. I think that. I think the other thing. How about read something? How about read something? Go to presidentialimpact.com. Go to presidentialimpact.com. Join my mailing list. Get my free ebook. It shows you what presidents do to get things done. Executive orders is one way to get things done. This working with Congress, when you have an oppositional Congress, how you gonna get anything done? If you don't water down everything and totally dilute anything you said you was gonna do. This, the pen. Oh, look at the pen. It's amazing. It signs executive orders. It's been used by everybody from FDR to George W. Bush to H.W.H. Bush to Ronald Reagan to Barack Obama to Bill Clinton to Teddy Roosevelt. Lyndon B. Johnson, oh, he not only used the pen, he used this. Or you're going to get in there. They brag about the work that Biden did. Lyndon B. Johnson said racial slurs, but you know what he did? When he wanted to get something done that was going to help him politically, that help black people, he got into them white people's face this close. This close. You're going to get it done or your ass ain't going to be in Congress no more because I'm going to be there to get you out. Now get your ass in there and pass the damn vote. And he was tall too. He was 6'5". He get in their faces in the oval. Walk right up in their chest like this. You're going to get it done, damn it. Or you ain't going to have a job. And your fat wife are going to be out of D.C. And you can put that retarded, slow son of yours in a regular school like where the regular dummies go. Now get in there and get it done now. Or kiss your career goodbye. And anybody standing with you, it's going to sit the same punishment. Now, you have a good one now, all right? Then he grabbed him on the shoulder. All right, now, you understand what I'm saying? Man, I don't hate not to dig into your ass like that, Phil, but dang, going to Phil, I need you on this one. Now, get in there and get it done now. I ain't mean to talk about your wife. How's Sylvia? Love her cooking. God bless you. All right, send the next one in. But see, Cartier family wouldn't know that because they don't read shit. Roland don't want to admit that because he's a hack. Working for the Democrats, he don't want to tell the truth. Biden was garbage. All right, now. Let's keep going.
We have so much more work to do, and he understands that. He's going to speak to this in about 24 hours or so, and he'll lay that out. But this president is ready to continue to lead this country in a historic way, and that stands.
I want to ask you something, and I also think people should be reminded that George Washington also showed this country how to step down and pass the baton, and so it's very patriotic that the president stepped aside. But
Sonny
what was the toughest thing?
Damn, Sonny kissed butt to the bitter end, didn't she? I think we saw enough of Karine Jean-Pierre. It's going to be a very interesting job of seeing Karine walk around or go around, make the rounds, selling her book, polishing a turd. You know, a turd painted gold is still a turd. That's exactly what she's polishing. I want people to understand. I've had to listen to the Democrats complain about Republicans on January 6th for what, 5 years? You know what we got already? We got Democrats complaining that people are bringing up how Biden, who knew about Biden being sick 5 months ago, going, he's not the president anymore. What's this? Why are you doing this? Focus on what's going on now. Why are you bringing up old shit? With a straight face looking right in the camera. And we got sheep going along with it. Let me get this right. You can talk about January 6th, which is, you say, a coup. It was a coup. I say it wasn't cool what happened. That definitely was not cool what happened. It was a bad thing. That was happening. That should have never happened. That should have never happened. But when you look up coups in the world, no country puts that as a coup, Johnson. You want a coup, go to Haiti. Coups involve guns, people getting assassinated, people getting arsenic in their Pepsi, all types of stuff happening in other countries when you say coup. But okay, we can't say they were trying to control the exchange of power. Let's say that. Let's say that they were trying to get in the way, slow the process, whatever they're trying to do. They want to try and take over the capital, take over the country. But what were they doing with Joe Biden? How is that different? Because it didn't happen one day by a bunch of unelected people, did it? It happened all throughout his term. They had a shadow government in your government for almost, I would say, a full term. I told you very much, I went on the record, I say I believe that Barack Obama knew there was something wrong with Joe back when he was Barack's vice president. I think he deteriorated over time. He didn't just deteriorate a month before he got to step down from running. I saw signs of him being loopy back in 2019 when I reported it. So the Democrats did a soft coup for 4 years. And they were prepared, many of them were prepared to let him run again and win. If he won, they'd have been fine with him being president again. When he really wasn't president last time, the first term. And they already telling people, why are you still talking about it? Why are you still talking about it? Why are you still talking about it, Tim? These people still talking about the George Floyd riots. The Republicans horrible too. Don't get it twisted. They still, every time I turn around, they pull George Floyd out their ass. He did. He done went on to the transition to the next phase. They still talking about George Floyd riots. Knowing damn well half of that was psyops, implants. They know that. They don't care. Just like there were a bunch of implants in January 6th. But see, that's when the partisan hackery comes out, because they'll say there was unfair dealings and implants and FBI, unfair FBI and CIA and Alphabet City, whatever's going on when it comes to their side, but never other people. No, the FBI don't do that with others. Though they got the longest history of doing that with us. We all know it if you read the book. The point is this. We have yet another insider in the Washington establishment, a part of the administration. This is unprecedented, trying to capitalize off of her job of lying to us. And at any time, just imagine what could have happened. Just imagine what Karine could have done. A year ago, Karine could have came out and said publicly during a press conference, I had some prepared remarks I was prepared to give. As press secretary of the Biden administration, I cannot give those remarks. I must report to the American people because I report to you first. And at risk of being totally destroyed my career, I must make this known because I have a duty to you, Americans, Joe Biden is not well. He has not been well for some time. And the fact I cannot report on that and haven't been able to report on that is a great failure of mine that I will take with me. But I must stand up and I must tell you the truth. Sure, she'd have been ran out on the rail. They would have came and packed her stuff. They'd have packed all her stuff up. But of course, they wouldn't have retaliated on her because, you know, Democrats don't retaliate. Only Trump. Right? So imagine if Karine Jean-Pierre would have stood up like that. I'm not goofy. I understand it would have cost her a job. So what? She wouldn't have been able to work in politics with them people no more. So what? She would have been the biggest political rebel since Trump. Hell, she could run for president if she wanted to and probably win. But cowards don't get to do nothing. And instead of being the same type of coward like most of them who went along with things and been quiet, she got the audacity, along with Jake Tapper, to after the fact come out and want to talk now. I'm gonna tell you like a smart man once said a few years ago. Oh, that's right, that was me who said it. You can't blow a whistle when they take your whistle away. You're not a whistleblower, Jake Tapper. You're not a whistleblower, Karine Jean-Pierre. Particularly Jean-Pierre, you ain't a whistleblower. Whistleblowers blow whistles while they're there. You're not a whistleblower once you leave. The whole point of being a whistleblower is you're on the inside and you're telling what's going on the inside right then. You don't leave, collect all your money, leave, do other shit, get a book deal, then drop the whistle. You are just a snitch. And unlike the movie Sing Sing, there will be no plays, no musicals, no plays, no theatrical events for you. You're just another coward, gutsy enough to say, ooh, I think I can make a buck off this too. Maybe I can make a buck off this. Maybe some money in it for me. Me and my wife would love to live the high life. Jake Tapper, Karine Jean-Pierre are just a couple of people. There's been a lot of other people. And all of these hacks, a lot of them. I've seen them. Mark Halperin. I've been seeing them. You know, the former this person and Chuck Todd kind of, you know, sleazy. Like all of a sudden, everybody growing a backbone. All of a sudden, you know, I noticed when there was definitely an air of journalists who were, you know, afraid to speak their minds, and some of them were complicit. I will admit that. There was some who went along with things in an attempt to be, you know, transparent. They wanted to access, frankly, and they were fooled. They were some of them. Where were these people 5 months ago? A year ago? 2 years ago? See what I'm saying? Karine Jean-Pierre.
To see in the 3 weeks there was a disconnect for me. What was happening with leadership in the Democratic Party. And
ladies and gentlemen,
full of shit.
Karine Jean-Pierre is full of shit. The end. All right, guys, let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going. Give it up for the Tim Black Wolfpack in the building, man. Not bad for a Wednesday. What else we got? Not bad at all, Johnson. Not bad at all. Lord. Do I have... Okay, let's get into this. So we reported about what happened in Boulder, Colorado, the attack on all the Jewish people at an event supporting prisoners of Hamas. That somehow Democrats don't want to call anti-Semitism. That's just crazy talk. That's crazy. You go into a black church and you shoot up a black church, you attack black people. That's a hate crime. You attacked all black people. You drove right past 10 white churches. Everybody singing, oh, to go to the black church. Come on, man. We call that a hate crime. Anyway, now they're trying to deport the family members because they feel the family members may have known something and did not report something. This is a terroristic act. Let's get into that, man.
Has obtained this shocking new video of the suspect throwing a Molotov cocktail and catching himself on fire during the Saturday's attack that left 12 people hurt.
Now you know why he had no shirt on.
That's exactly right. He is facing multiple counts of attempted murder and a federal hate crime charge. I mean, this is just incredible. He's clearly a maniac. The question is, what did the family know? I mean, this is something we called for on the couch yesterday, Ainsley, that they need to question them, they needed to deport them, and it looks like the administration is following through on
Kristi Noem says she's investigating that. What did the family know? Were they involved in this? Did they provide support? He apparently, according to reports, wrote a message to his family. He hid it in the desk drawer before the attack, lives about 100 miles away from this place. Allegedly told police that he hated Jewish people. He wanted to kill all Zionists. He sprayed a group with 87-octane gasoline from a garden hose that he made into a makeshift flamethrower. That's why that flame was so long and so big. He's in custody charged with federal hate crime.
To graduate high school. So he expected to die in this. So he says this way they could go on with their lives, and I've gotten past the formative years perhaps. Now, you didn't anticipate this. Your family's not going to live happily ever after in America. They are gone. They're finished. They're through. Goodbye.
Yeah, but maybe that was a little bit premature here. Barney Rubble. That the guy look like Barney Rubble. Maybe that was a little bit premature because...
Making the deficit case today from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, the CBO saying the bill, which extends the 2017...
Who cares? Well, anyway, it looks like today, updated reporting on this story. It was blocked. Yeah, there was a court ruling issued by a court in Colorado somewhere. I guess it was the Circuit Court of Colorado. They say that, yeah, you can't deport the family, got to do due process. So what they knew, so what he wrote a letter, so what they had time to alert authorities. Can't do anything. They deserve to be here even though they're not citizens. Can't just make them leave your country. Yeah, basically, they got squatters' rights. Yeah, they haven't contributed to Americans' tax base. They haven't fought in any wars in America, helped build America, nor do they have any roots of anybody who did so. But they came over here on a visa, and we can't make them leave. Sorry, they get to stay. Folks, like this is not even about, to me, this is not about what is about his actions. But this is not about Democrats or Republicans. Man, when did we become this damn stupid? Now we can't tell people to leave. We can't make people leave our homes. You own a property, you go visit a cousin, you come back, you got squatters in your house who didn't pay a damn thing. There did no lease agreement. They can just assume your property. We got people arguing that that's okay. That makes sense. Now, and we got people that come in the country who just say, I want to be in this country, and I'm in this country now. And we give them all types of ish. They get all types of support. And if they break laws, in this case, they are connected to someone who plotted a terrorist attack and executed the terrorist attack. He did the thing. We have evidence that they knew he hated the Jewish people and wanted to do something, and they never wanted to do this. 911. All one of them had to do was call and say, look, dude ain't right. And then they're clear, but they didn't. That's called conspiracy. It looks like conspiracy to me. Allegedly, it looks like conspiracy. I haven't looked at these things beyond what I'm hearing, okay? Beyond what was being reported, okay? If different reports come out, I would change my story. But it appears to be the family knew something was going on. They may not have known exactly specifics. But see, then if they would have reported it, then it would have been on the authorities. Why didn't you look it up? Why didn't you investigate? Why didn't you attempt to do something about this? Which happens all the time, right? But they didn't. They didn't report it. Okay. So, folks, it is what it is. Now, they are saying they have enough evidence to call this a hate crime. He had a manifesto, detailed manifesto of what he wanted to do. See? If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, maybe it's a duck. Yeah, maybe it is. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. All I'm saying is be morally consistent. We're going to call out. I'm going to call it out when they do something to black people. I'm going to call that out. I don't care if it's popular, unpopular. I still feel that Daniel Penny got away with murder. I don't think a homeless, unarmed man on the train should be able to be strangled to death on the train. And people go, well, 5 years ago, he did something one time. What the hell that got to do with right now, man? Racist bastard. But 5 years ago, he punched a lady. I call that out. What happened at the Tops supermarket, where they shot up a bunch of black people shopping. Had a gun, went in there. Hey, I'm about to shoot. Oh, I'm sorry. You're a white guy. I'm sorry. You could go. Where are the blacks at? Yeah, we didn't need to find his manifesto to know he went in there to shoot up black people. I call that out. It's not, we need to clarify what selling out is. It's, you know what it is? I think we're in an era, man, where consistency and ethics, people don't appreciate it or respect it. They just on a side. I'm on a side too, the side of justice. Right and wrong. It's the moral dilemma of our existence, fam. But some people see that as selling out. We're going to have a problem. Because I'm going to call balls and strikes, right? If I don't call balls and strikes, I'm just like Jesse Lee Peterson in the Hodge Twins, but your guy. And that ain't what I want to be, baby. Ain't nobody grow up to want to be that, to be a sellout, but just for another side. What is that? And those people that have said, I'm worried, Tim. I'm worried about you. Tim, I'm worried about you, Tim. You keep siding with the orange man. It only looks that way because I can't stand Democrats. And sometimes I think he's right. And I had the guts to say that and don't give a damn if people get mad because I said it. He's right to close the border. Tim! My God! I can't believe you sided with the orange orangutan. I can't believe you sided with him. He's so horrible. He's gonna put you back in chains. You silly Negro. He gonna put you back in chains, you divisive reparationist. Some people, when I said both parties suck, they was only talking about Republicans. We're gonna move on to the next thing, Johnson. Homeboy thought he was gonna die during this event. He did not die because he looked white. Yeah, we got more. Look, we had so many conservatives so concerned with trying to prove that he ain't white. I'm Scooby, white people. Scooby, Ben Shapiro. Name some of these white people for me. Let's call them out. Whose names ring out? White people. Charlie Kirk. Charlie. Tall, goofy mofo. Charlie. Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, Ben Pat David, Pat Bet David. Yeah, come on over here. Egyptians are classified as white. It's white Egyptians. How can I say this? How can I say this so this makes sense? I'm sorry, guys. How can I clarify this? I'm sorry. I have a computer, so it's hard for me not to use it because I do have a computer. It's right here in my hand. So let me oh, this thing is full screen. I'm just doing full screen. It's full. How to get out of full screen? What key gets me out of full screen, yo? I don't want to shut down my screen, but I do want to get out the full screen. Okay, Alt Tab. There you go. We can Alt Tab out, right? There we go. Alt Tab. Let's go to X. Why are we in the full screen? It won't do it. Damn it, Johnson, I can't even get out of full screen. Ain't that so? It's just up there. I know it's a key in the keyboard. Print screen, screen lock. Now it's taking too long.
And that's got to be the new way of operating. Oh, yeah, excuse me, you're related? You're gone.
None of these are good pictures of him. I'm sorry.
He's not without thought process.
See him out here. You can see him over here. See this guy here with his shirt off? He look white to you? I just want to make sure we understand each other. I had conservatives more concerned with more than anything. I see white people all my life on TV, everywhere. $6 Million Man, The Hulk, Dukes of Hazzard, all white people. What I'm trying to say is, he look white to me, like a white man with sunglasses on. So, yeah. The whole point is that we got people that all they cared about was making sure their team ain't held accountable. That's all they did. So we don't want to be like them people. All they want to do is just do that. That's all. That's it. Let's keep going, guys. That damn it took the fun out of the whole segment. Had to track down just to show the white people that this guy looked like a white people. But you show them the black people and flick, and they quickly tell you he look like a white guy. But he's a foreign national, is what he is. Let's say he's not American. Because on the census, if if Salamuna, whatever his name is, if he did become a U.S. citizen, he had to check a box on his census, what would he check? What would he check? What would he check? Charlie, what would he check? Yeah, I thought so. Moving on, Johnson. All right, Johnson. Got a couple more stories here just before we go. It's getting late in the tooth. I want to thank those people that support the Tim Black Show that came through today to do that. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. I want to point something out, man, because we get a lot of talk about AOC. A lot of people talk about Jamal Bowman, New York, and you know, I ran across this clip. I thought it was very interesting. I want to give this guy some shine. I've seen his content before, and I'm gonna shout him out once I find out who he is. I don't know who he is. I think it's in the video. Let's pull him up. I think it's Donnie Velour, and I could be wrong. And he goes on, he breaks down some things that are happening in New York, because often I get people that push back on me on the immigration issue. Right? And I get it, I understand it. But they don't understand it. There are stories like this that are out there that are based in fact. Not just spin, not narratives, actual stuff.
Black Americans was forced out of New York City. Black immigrants replaced them. But let me break this down. It's called the out-migration.
Here we go. His name is Donnie Velour. He's on TikTok. Black people, as a people, we need to not be afraid to say the truth. We have to be bold and courageous. We have to stand up for us, because if we don't stand up for ourselves, ain't nobody else gonna stand up for us. Who else gonna do it? It ain't gonna be a bunch of careerist blacks, because now they got careers and money and they want to keep them. You need a broke-ass Tim Black. You need somebody without anything to lose. They already don't invite me on shit, so can't have him around. But black people, Black America, we must stand up. We must say what the truth is. If this was happening to LGBTQ people, they'd have no problems calling it out. Nobody would have a problem. If this was happening to Asians, they would call it out, and they have been calling out with lawsuits that old white men have been paying for. If this was happening to the Jewish community, they would be calling it out, and AIPAC will be destroying people's careers. But since it's happening to Black Americans, don't nobody care about it. And even worse than that, when you call it out, you get demonized. You're only demonized when you support Black people. That's when the demonization comes in. Here goes Donnie Velour with a message of the day.
While Black Americans was forced out of New York City, Black immigrants replaced them. But let me break this down. It's called the out-migration. When Black Americans left New York City because they couldn't afford it anymore, Black immigrants were able to replace them and stay there because they were given additional support. So in New York City, you have something like, it's called NYCHA, right? New York City Housing Authorities, where they offer, Section 8 vouchers. Usually those programs are just for Black Americans and other U.S. citizens. But the Black immigrants had additional support and additional programs that they qualify outside of that. Does that make sense? Programs like DCS, Diaspora Community Service, which specifically is for Afro-Caribbean families and helping them with housing. BAG, Black Alliance just for immigrants, programs that just focus on Black immigrants across the Black diaspora. Another program.
Check this out, guys. I want people to really wrap your head around the fact that there's a constitutional law against helping us, because we're a race. But you can help a nationality. You can help an immigrant. You can help immigrants all you want, but you cannot help Black Americans. Folks, I want you to really wrap your head around what Donnie's saying. In New York City, and I'm sure there's other states like this, you can specifically help immigrants, migrants. Caribbean, Nigerian, whatever. Particular program. And it won't get struck down by Congress. It will not get challenged in the courts. But if you try to help Black Americans, white Americans go, no. What about you discriminating? They don't consider discrimination when they help immigrants. I want all my detractors to pay attention to this. This is an important segment. Why is it discrimination when your courts help us? I saw some Black women, they had a program where they were helping small businesses, Black small businesses find seed capital. Only 2% of venture capitalist money goes to Black businesses. 2% of venture capitalist money goes to Black-owned businesses. 90% of venture capitalist money goes to white-owned businesses. Okay? White-owned male businesses, by the way. The rest goes to white women, Black people, Black women, Latino women. Like it's, get what I'm saying? So these women started an organization that did that. You know, they got challenged in court. They lost a lawsuit in court that says they could not help, this Black woman organization could not help have a grant for like $10,000 to other Black women businesses because it discriminated against who? White people who got the GI Bill, Manifest Destiny, all the money, all the building, all the land, you know. But it was unfair to help Black people get a grant because that's not fair to white people. Meanwhile, they get all the venture capitalist money. We don't. In America, you can help migrants, you can't help Black folks. Why do you think Oprah built the school in Africa? Why do you think every time you turn around, you see a celebrity doing something? They do it in Africa. They do it other places where brown people live or Black people live, but not Black Americans. Why? Because they come after them when they help Black Americans. That's why I try to support LeBron James' school, because at least he had the guts to do that in America. It ain't about his play on the Lakers. It ain't about if he flopped too much or something. I don't know. They say everything got everybody. They was roasting Shaq because he sat down because he hurt his toe or something. I remember that corny Doug Williams was making it. Listen. Let's let Mr. Velour continue.
Canva, which also help Africans and Caribbean immigrants with housing, more resources for them to sustain their living conditions. Make the Road New York, which assists Afro-Caribbeans and Afro-Latinos, protecting them from evictions. Act Afro Communities Together, which assists African immigrants. There's a long list of these programs that's specifically for Black immigrants, whereas Black Americans can only tap into the traditional, whatever the state has to offer. They didn't have access to the additional programs like.
Why are white people mad about this? Why are some of the white, let me put it this way. I got to be careful with the language. Because I got, white people that do care about Black people. Why are the white people that are concerned and upset about discrimination against the whites when Black people might get some type of benefit or help, even though we're the only group that helped build America that was subjected to this thing? Nobody redlined you. No one eminent domained you off your property in large numbers. Nobody flooded your towns and bombed your towns and shut down your towns. There was no sundown town for white people. White people always went to the hood and picked up their friends or a date or a little smoky smoke. Went back to their side of town. Black people couldn't even just drive through the town. I remember being a kid, we go on a trip somewhere down south. We had a box of food in the back. And I used to wonder why we can't stop at I won't stop at the McDonald's or the Jack in the Box or the Burger King. They'd be like, no. Can we stop at just pick up no. Because we ain't know We in the South. We don't stop, baby. You got to eat the cold drumstick in the back, the cold pork chop sandwich. So my question to you guys is, what about all the people? Why aren't they concerned when they see immigrants getting set aside? Immigrants getting these types of services only to them. Why aren't they upset? It wouldn't be racism, would it? And see, you know what's bad, Johnson? I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna go on. There are people that I think are well-meaning people who are very supportive of the diaspora. Was it diaspora? You're the diaspora, and they're focused on diaspora. Black people all over, and black people. Sometimes I think they're getting paid by those organizations because they don't point this out. Yeah, they. I think they romanticize. You know what I'm saying? What's that? Dr. Umar, like the Pan-Africanism. They like romanticize Africans. But I think there's also money in it. Ain't no money in helping black people. I mean, I got black people now that be like, hey man, I watched the show. I support you, Tim. So you do, man? You a member of the membership? You bought a mug? You a member? What you do? Oh no, I just watch sometime. Oh. Well, thank you, brother. Thank you for watching the content for free. I appreciate that. Hey, but I'm just saying, them organizations that they be caping for, they be hiring them to speak. They be providing, they be consulting fees. They be hiring them to do things. It's money there. Look, I got no proof. But if you're getting government contracts, if you're getting set aside, if there are programs that are directed specifically to these people, I'm sure there's a non-government organization somewhere that's kicking in money, that's donating, that's doing something. Black people don't have the same allocations. They don't get that. Because when we do try to do that, they come for us. They tie us up in court. They sue us. They knock us out the game. You understand what I'm saying? These are the things, these are the harsh realities I had to start accepting. Because you know what? I used to just think people were scumbags. They may be scumbags, but they got reasons for doing some of the things they do. You understand what I'm saying? I will not co-sign, nor will I excuse the actions of brothers and sisters that do the wrong thing, in my opinion. But it's not just that everybody's a jackass, everybody's a sellout. It's deeper. That is lazy thinking. There are things going on behind the scenes like this. Money exchanging hands, opportunities. People have families. Some of these people are the only people in their families who have been able to make a name and like really climb. And they got the entire family betting on them, hoping on them to help lead the family out of the lower middle class. And for lack of a better term, they playing the game. All right, guys, give it up. Go see this brother right here, man. He's telling the truth, man. This is the dope truth. Donnie Velour on TikTok. Hit him up. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section. And it's a simple thing, Johnson. Folks, why is it that Americans who were so upset that black people may get set-asides for black Americans, why are they not upset when immigrants get that and then some? Good question. Let's get into it. All right, guys. Do we have anything else? What time is it? We're at 2-hour mark. I tell you, man, when we doing it, we doing it, we doing it. Is it Hakeem Jeffries? What Hakeem Jeffries talking about? Let's hear Hakeem Jeffries. I don't know what he's talking about. We got a Hakeem Jeffries and we got a P. Diddy update. And I'm gonna do both of them, and then we're gonna be out, Johnson. So let's go with the Hakeem Jeffries for $2,000, Johnson.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive, every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America. This is not the Soviet Union. We're not behind the Iron Curtain. This is not the 1930s. And every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified. That in fact is the law. And we're going to make sure that the American people have the transparency necessary to hold people accountable when they're folks who cross the line here in America. That's what's going to happen. And as I mentioned earlier, and I spoke to Congressman Nadler about this, our first priorities are always going to be making sure the person who was on the front line is in the best possible place to move forward. That's the case with LaMonica MacGyver, and it is also the case with Congressman Nadler's brave, young, patriotic staffer. And we've got to address those issues first. That's the human thing to do, while simultaneously, of course, preparing to deal with the broader policy implications, which, as I mentioned, are underway. Thanks. Go back to this side.
Okay, so I wanted to look this up because on his face, guys, on his face, if we call him balls and strikes, I agree with Hakeem Jeffries here. I agree that police officers should have to identify themselves. Isn't that part of it? Every piece of footage I've ever seen, man, will have someone saying, okay, badge number, name, supervisor. That's within our rights to ask those questions. So on his face, I agree with Hakeem Jeffries. I know, shocking, right? Yeah, when I disagree, it's typically when I'm covering him. But if I agree with something, I'm going to say that too. That's called not being a hack. I can't just go against what I believe is true or right or just to get this guy. My integrity's worth more than this guy, getting this guy. But so, okay, so that's the first thing I'm thinking. That's the first thing I'm thinking. But then I look it up because ICE is not regular police. Yeah, ICE is not regular police. I don't know if ICE has the same rules. So I asked the question, is ICE required to identify themselves? Bear with me as I read this. Prince George's County Public School System. ICE agents are not always required to identify themselves, but it depends on the situation. When making arrests or conducting enforcement actions, ICE agents typically must provide their name, badge number, or other identification if asked, especially during formal interactions like serving warrants. Federal regulations and agency policies generally encourage transparency to maintain accountability. However, in certain scenarios, like undercover operations or initial encounters in the field, agents may not immediately disclose their identity to protect operational security or maintain the element of surprise. If someone requests identification, agents are generally expected to comply unless it jeopardizes the operation. Here goes the last point. Legally, if an agent refuses to identify themselves during an arrest or detention without a valid operational reason, it could potentially violate procedural rights. though this would depend on case specifics. I think what Hakeem is talking about is not accountability of the officer for what they did. It's to allow the mobs to go after them online, dox them, go to their house, flatten their tires, harass their families, make unsolicited phone calls. Yeah. Because I think any ICE raid, you could contact an office and get the operational information about what officers were on this particular operation. To the non-citizens, to the abducted citizens who are put into custody, taken into custody, not even the word abducted works. If you're taken into custody by ICE, I think you get to ask, who are you? And they got to tell you who they is. And they got to show that they're ICE, and they got to say that. Yeah, they got to reveal who they are. If not, they get to operate under a cloak of, they get to hide that, then they, I don't know. Yeah, so I agree with Hakeem in theory. They gotta have a reason for not telling you. Of course, if they're doing an undercover investigation, only a goofy would have to say, I did. I'm ICE. I'm doing ICE work. Oh, good. Let me get out of here. So that's one thing, man. I was also thinking about this. If you got a protest and you get to wear a mask, it's kind of weird too. Yeah, if you're doing anything on a protest where you want to hide your identity, I don't know, man. I understand that they're out here targeting protesters. But on the other hand, there are people out here doing protests who are posing as other people. And then people wearing masks. Oh, God, it's all types of stuff going on, man. This gets very tricky down there because we got some protesters who are afraid of retaliation but aren't breaking any laws. Then we also have protesters that are agents and ops sent there to cause drama who wear masks too. And I don't know who was who. Get what I'm saying? So this is an issue that cuts both ways. And I don't think Hakeem Jeffries is even considering that. I don't know, maybe he is. So either everybody can wear a mask or nobody can wear a mask. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. This is a 50-50 ball. But this is why it's important for us to have conversations. We talk about it. What do you think? Hakeem says, no mask, no mas. Is he right or is he wrong? Let me know. Last story, man, we're going to go to the Diddy trial. I thought this was interesting because Laura Coates, who's on CNN, she did this report. I have not watched it. I watched the first few seconds, and I saw that she was reporting something about something that happened on the stand. We have not been covering the Diddy thing. It's just, I feel like it's kind of out of my wheelhouse. Like when it gets into the nooks and crannies and stuff, it's like too explicit for the Tim Black show. But if no one has an update that's valuable, well, hell, I want to give you that. Why not? Okay. At least she has a reputation. She don't want to be, I would think she want to keep her reputation clean. So let's see what she says.
All right, so here was an update. You know that saying, whatever you say can and will be used against you in the court of law?
One more time.
All right, so here was an update. You know that saying, whatever you say can and will be used against you in the court of law? Well, the theme of today's cross-examination of a woman named Bana, who accused Diddy of dangling her off a 17-foot balcony and saying that she had sold and provided drugs to Cassie and also had a habit herself of using them. Well, the theme of today's cross was, if anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law, Anything the government writes down in their notes can and will be used against the witnesses during their testimony. Every single time there was a discrepancy between what the witness was saying on the stand and what the government had written down as notes, you saw the credibility of the witness being chopped away bit by bit. This is also a moment when, for the very first time, really fundamentally in this case, these civil lawsuits became a kind of star witness for the defense. They were really keen on honing in on what was said in those suits, the timeline of whether you filed the lawsuit first or spoke to the government first. That became a running theme for this witness. And there was a moment when the cross really focused on the conversations between Cassie Ventura and the witness Bonnet about the dates of this alleged dangling of the balcony, about who was or was not there, also about the demand letter that was sent as a civil lawsuit to Diddy. So today, the defense making some headway trying to attack the credibility of this witness, but witnesses in general who were involved in the civil lawsuits. This might be a cautionary tale for some prosecution about how and what is written in the notes and what the witness then remembers specifically saying on the stand.
Ow. Wow, give it up for that. So let me get this right. We got people that were suing Diddy, trying to get money out of Diddy behind the scenes, right? And then later, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go to cops. I'm gonna go ahead and be a part of this. And that the stories that they were telling when they were trying to do the civils is different than what they're saying on the stand. So they're perjuring themselves in real time. Either they were lying before to the courts, or they lying now to the courts. Which one is it? This may not be as cut and dry as people made it out to be. I mean, there was a lot of people just saying, oh, Diddy done, he gone. I don't know. I don't know if most of the witnesses can be discredited as being money-hungry leeches trying to get their paper who were complicit, if not directly benefiting from whatever was happening and benefiting, taking a part of it and enjoying themselves, having a good-ass time and just doing things. And then all of a sudden now it's, oh, my hand, look what he did. Give me money. Because everybody else coming to get money. And I do believe I believe there has to be a portion of that in this situation because it's so big. You see somebody get $50 million, you like, I like money. Something happened to me. He said something to me too one time. One time he brushed up against me in the elevator. I don't know what he was doing. There were literally these types of things in the Bill Cosby trial, Everybody, he's like, we got 50 women that say Bill Cosby did this. I was like, I looked through the stuff. I was like, most people reported on it didn't. They didn't look through stuff. I was like, this lady didn't say he assaulted her. He said he looked at me with his eyes. He undressed me with his eyes. Like, I do that all the time. I got a weak eye. You know what I'm saying? That ain't on purpose. I was born with the eye. What are you talking about? There were people that they were counting in the 50 women who said, one time I was at a bar and he walked past me and brushed up against me and I feel assaulted. Give me money. And people are like counting that as assault victims. Literally. Because they just wanted the numbers to look bigger and bigger. And anybody that had any type of complaint. One time I was at a nightclub and he was buying drinks for everybody. He didn't buy me no drink. Such an asshole. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. He didn't buy me no drink. You won't buy me a drink? So I'm saying everything that they hype up, we got to be able to, you got to make some things of this.
Suspect.
It's okay to say some things are suspect. It does not mean you don't love women. It does not mean that you are riding with abuse. You just May have been born tonight, but not last night. You are just suspicious of some of the honesty. And I say all the time, like, I don't see what Trump did was so bad with Stormy Daniels. They had a one-night affair 25 years ago. Then he found out she gonna write a book. He said, hey, I give you some money not to write the book. She took the money and went about her business. Then, only then later, when he about to win, run against the Democrats, they was like, hey, you was with Trump, right? Would you like to become famous? She was like, I don't mind if I do. My acting career has been stalled, thank you. For some reason, OnlyFans wasn't active then for her. But she got a lucrative Brazzers deal, porno deal, right after that. Allegedly. I ain't trying to get sued. I mean, what they gonna get? This microphone in my cup? But they'll take that just to try to destroy you, to silence you. They'll sue you for that. People think, I ain't got nothing that they can sue me for. They'll sue you for that draws on you. They'll sue you for your microphone. You'll be working for them. So allegedly. So the Diddy trial, we're going to cover it. We're going to check in from time to time. According to Ms. Coates from CNN, all that glitters isn't Diddy. And maybe some of the suits or some of the cases against Diddy aren't as shiny as them damn suits he made the Locks wear, or that him and Mace wore in that video that time. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'm Tim Black. Thank you for being here. Let's go to comments and see if the people have said things. And once again, they are hiding comments. I only get the ones in real time. I can only see them in real time. I cannot see them. Hakeem is a humanoid bot. Yeah. Lawrence Jones says foreigners think we get the aid they get. I don't think they care about us at all. They join right into white supremacy. ICE is dealing with foreign people. Shit, some Americans could be dangerous too. Look at the guy who just threw the Molotov cocktails. Well, you're right, he was foreign people, wasn't he? I don't know, man. Any cop that arrests me, I get to know who he is. And Americans are dangerous too, Rose. Everybody dangerous. We got more guns than people in America. Everybody dangerous, Johnson. If you don't think everybody dangerous, you know what I'm saying? You might be a victim. Everybody dangerous. I get your point. I'm just saying. I don't think that's an excuse, but I love hearing this. This is great to hear this opinion. Anybody else on that? Anybody else talking about ICE? Anybody else got points about ICE? In the mask? Blue Ebony says, ICE is federal, so I don't think so. I was about to mention being undercover or using the element of surprise. Correct. I agree with that. That sounds like a plainclothes operation, Jeffries. I think as opposed to them detaining people masked up. There, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Black Mamba. I forgot to tell people to do this, man. That's why you got to have number love for Black Mamba, man. I appreciate it. I forgot to tell people to hit the like button and spread the awareness about the show. Do you think Trump's going to stop at migrants, immigrants? This is a good question. And it's one of the things that I pointed out in my conversation with Van Lathan. This is what you need to understand. A person, Stephen Butler. And I hope you're still here, Stephen, so that you get the benefit of this learned point. My position is based out of me doing this for a long time and having done my research. Black Americans, it is a foolhardy. Now, let me not say that. It is bogus to say, oh no, Tim, if they do this to immigrants, they're going to do this to black people. Let me correct the record for you, sir. America historically has done things to black Americans first. The fear that immigrants have and that the wider society, like white folks like yourself have, is that they're going to try to do the same thing to migrants. It's the other way. They already did it to us. They already stopped and frisked us. They already over-incarcerate us. They already over-police us. So cut the cap. And this is one of the reasons why foundational black Americans from this country, who built this country, who have generations of people from this country, black Americans, are so pissed off. Y'all get concerned about people's rights when conveniently it's not about black people. Broken mirrors, broken windows policing, broken lights policing, a thing in New York for years. Stop and frisk, over policing, Ferguson reports. All types of investigations handed down by the Department of Justice proving the systemic over-policing of black Americans, the violation of our constitutional rights for years, decades, 100 years. Easy. You think migrants cared about that shit? No, they didn't care, Johnson. Why should they care? They aren't American citizens. But here they come. Now we get migrants. And you're going, oh no, if they treat migrants bad, they're going to treat you bad. They already treat us bad, Seymour. It's already done. Crack a book. Pretend that being black, pretend that black people, pretend that you care about the history of black people and the current living situations of black people. Pretend that that's a thing. Pretend it is interesting. You are falling for the okie doke where Democrats say, look over there. And you go, what's over there? Oh, that's sad. Look over there. And all the time, it's a fire going over here the whole damn time. And you're going, oh, look at that. Somebody got a boo-boo. That is sad. You don't do that. You don't do that. Somebody over here is screaming of agony over here the whole time. Please make that person be quiet. But I'm over here. You okay? You okay? Somebody get him some ice. You know, ice for their wound. Somebody get him a cool glass of water and a rag on his forehead, please. He's having a rough day. And we are burying ours over here. And you're like, it's because you listen to Democrats. Stop listening to Democrats. All right. All right, folks. My name is Tim Black. Once again, thank you guys for joining us, for being a part of it. I'm glad that I can be helpful and help elucidate and guide people who don't know these things and able to shed some type of to actually point out a different viewpoint that you may have been missing. And also to update people on stuff. So we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you once again for the show. Remember, guys, join the Tim Black Show, become a member of the Tim Black, a paid member of the Tim Black Wolfpack, and get early access to all my long-form conversations. This week, it goes public. It premieres publicly. My interview with Van Lathan, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday. Be there. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow right here. And remember, don't let anybody take your cornbread. That's your cornbread. Anything else will be uncivilized. And as always, where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? Oh, there they go. Wolfpack.